Welcome to the Metal Voice. Oh yeah, Death Angel, folks. Ted Aguilar, what's happening, brother?
How you doing, Jimmy?
I'm
Calipatitis.
Yes, thank you very much. We've been practicing our last names.
Yes.
So we can get them right. All right, so we got Slayer, Death Angel, Anthrax, rolling through North America.
Yep.
Very exciting thrash, and the originators, you could say, of thrash, right? Pioneers.
Yeah.
Let's start off with Evil Divide.
Yes.
New album. I love it. To me, it's going to be one of the best albums of the year.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell me about the recording process. And we're talking about the good and the bad, the ugly, the fantastic. I just want to know everything. What were the best moments and maybe bad moment?
Sum it up.
Yes.
The best moments is recording with Jason Sukoff.
Yes.
I mean, he knows the band really well.
Yeah.
I mean, this is our third album with him.
Yeah.
He knows everyone individually. He knows how to push you to be the best.
Yes.
He gets great tones. He's an amazing musician, so he's showing us things like. And the bad part, having to do it in Florida.
Really?
Yeah, that's where he lives.
So what is it, like it was too hot or just?
It's too hot in Jason's studios, like in the middle of nowhere. There's like basically 12 hours in the studio and go back to the rental house, crash out.
Yeah, so what was the whole process? How many months did it take?
Basic tracking was 2 months.
Yeah.
You know, the drum, everything. Down to the point where we're done, we're going home. But we did a bit of additional tracking at Rob's home studio,
sure.
Spiderville. He called it Spiderville. Right. And I think it wasn't until after the holidays, after Christmas, Jason started mixing the record, and we got all that done, mixing and mastering around January.
All right.
But yeah.
What's different, and I mean, I know what the differences are, but what's the difference between, for the folks out there who haven't heard this, the best album of 2016 yet, what you do different on this album that you didn't do on the last two, which were stellar albums, by the way?
Wow. What do we...
Was it the songwriting, the guitar tones, the...
Well, Relentless, Dream, and Evil Divide, if you listen to them sonically...
Yes.
They're different.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that's something we always want to do. We don't want to make the same album, same sound, same everything. But I think with this album, you know, Rob wrote the record and he pushed it, you know. The riffs are difficult to play. They're interesting, they're technical, but then again, they're very familiar.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when you listen to the album, when I first heard the album after it's, I mean, I had the demos, you know, the pre-production demos without the music, and when you hear it, you go, ah, cool, it sounds great. It's not until after you go, all right, it's done, mix, master, here's your copy, and I put it on, and you kind of have time to really absorb it, because during the writing and recording, you're just so engrossed into the writing and just trying to make the songs the best that they can.
Yeah.
Then when you're done with the recording and you're at home and you finally put the album in and to absorb it, it shocked me at first because I got to hear stuff with Mark.
Yeah.
You know, because we don't hear stuff with Mark usually until the record's done. Because when the song's written, we get it to Mark on a CD, and Mark goes to the far regions of the earth.
He's transforming into Dio slowly, I know.
Yes. I mean, Mark likes to get away and be alone and listen to the music and just delve into his thoughts and put things, you know, pen to paper. But getting back to it, it's like absorbing the record, I'm like, whoa, this sounds so different but familiar.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the riffs are different. Rob really, you know, tries to make the riffs more interesting and better.
And I think, you know, you've accomplished that. I mean, I wanted to do this interview based on that album. I mean, of course, I've been following the band. I've been following the band since Ultraviolence.
Okay. But
since the skateboarding Filipinos, you know, going down the, you know,
Voracious Souls.
That's right, Voracious Souls.
But, you know, I'm glad you said that, because if you want to know the history of the band, we have a Thrashumentary.
Yes, the Thrashumentary.
That explains everything.
And I mean, I've heard about it. I've never actually watched it. I watched the previews.
Okay.
It looks fantastic, but I will check it out. It's
2+ hours long. You'll see old footage from before Ultraviolence.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
stuff
very
like
cool.
that. So
that's very cool.
Up until present day.
All right, so you come into the band. The album was
The Art of Dying.
Did you have to audition for them?
No.
No?
It was weird. I'll tell you the story. Since you didn't watch the Thrashumentary.
But I will pick it up slowly.
There was a Thrash of the Titans.
Yes.
It was a benefit for Chuck from Testament and Chuck from Death.
Yes, I remember.
And the whole thing was they got all the Bay Area bands back together.
Yeah.
Death Angel was the last to confirm. Because the guys, talking to the guys, known them for years, they go, yeah, we're done with Death Angel. We still want to do music, but we want to do the ways. And it was actually Chuck Billy that called Rob and go, hey. And they talked and go, all right, if we're going to do this, it's just going to be a one-off for Chuck. The four of them, originals, got back together. They called Gus. Gus was in the Philippines at the time, and Gus was, he plays music but not metal. He does all the, on the side he does acoustic stuff with Rob, and that's good. Yeah. And Rob gave me a call and goes, I've known Rob for a while. We had local bands together that we played together. And they go, do you want to do it? Gus can't do it. So yeah, I learned the songs. We only rehearsed twice. 2 days before the benefit. Yeah. Played the gig, and 15 years later I'm talking to you.
And this is all documented in the Thrashimentary.
Yeah.
That's where we got it. So you're in the band.
Yeah.
And you know what I love about the website, and which is
deathangel.us.
What I love about it sums it up perfectly. The beginning, right? The formation.
Yeah.
The reformation, the band breaks up, it gets back together again, and then the evolution. And my God, the evolution is like you guys are taking it to another level. I mean,
thanks.
When you look back at the first album, right, Ultraviolence,
great album,
and you look at this album, I mean, leaps and bounds, right?
Yeah.
What have you kept from? Is it the technical aspect that you've kept?
The foundation.
The foundation.
Ultraviolence is the foundation of Death Angel.
Sure. Yeah.
And you just build upon that foundation.
Yeah.
And you could sprinkle new influence, but as long as the foundation is there, then it'll still be Death Angel.
Sure. What were your guitar influences?
Oh, number one, it has to be James Hetfield.
Really?
Bottom line. The guy writes the greatest riffs, writes the greatest vocal melodies, lyrics. I mean, it's James,
Who else?
But I do like guitar duos, like,
Iron Maiden?
Iron Maiden, grew up to Maiden, Priest.
Sure, Priest, of course.
Old school Gary Holt, Rick Hunolt.
Yeah.
Then you have AC/DC. All Scorpions, all the classic stuff I do love. But it's all in the DNA.
Are you going to be recording these shows for any live DVD, live CD, or anything?
We haven't talked about that yet. Because this is the first. We've been already a week into this tour of this new album.
Well, I think ahead.
But who knows? Maybe one of these days we'll do something.
What's the set list look like? Are you mixing in a lot of the newer songs or is it going to be more songs in the last few albums than it is?
We have a half hour.
Oh yeah, you got to.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard. So,
The Dream Calls for Blood. 3 songs off the new album. What are we looking at? What's the mix?
Mix of old and new.
Old and new.
Surprise. Come on, man. Can't let the cat out of the bag yet.
That's pretty much it. What do you want to tell your fans out there?
Thanks for all the support, even through the ups and downs. We've gone through a lot of stuff. Like you said, the beginning, the evolution, the breakup, the evolution.
The evolution,
Yeah, that fans stuck with
it. And
us.
the conquering, we'll call it. That's the next phase.
Next good one. I'm gonna have to write that down somewhere.
Please.
Everything, the support, it's insane. I mean, old and new. And that's why we're still here. People like you who want to interview us. People who come out to the shows. It just keeps us going. Keeps us going.
Listen, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to the show. And we'll catch you next time on The Metal Voice.